Teen Gamer here, and 4.6 Spiral Abyss. New video, new Abyss. Let's just get this over with.
Shadow! Oz, reveal! Everlasting as the moon! Overruled! By royal decree! Shine down!
Gather!
These are about to get dicey. Rain cutter!
This is order.
Gotcha. Rain outlines your fate.
Will.
Here comes the catch. I'm getting sick of this. There is no escape. Oz, reveal. Final warning. Shine down.
As you wish.
Drop your weapons. Transfixed. Hands where I can see 'em. Final warning. Overruled.
Stabilize.
Witness the power of Gura. Know my sword. Busted. See? These are about to get dicey.
Solidify.
Let me weave you over. Time to go.
Stabilize.
Gotcha.
Order guide you.
Quietly now. Rain cutter. Rain outlines your fate. Stop right there! Laid bare. There is no escape. Grab your weapons. Midnight, Fantastic. Transfixed. You went up for it. Now you shall perish. Here comes the catch. Let me weave you a web. Cross over.
Stabilize.
Busted. Rain cutter. No, my sword. Game's up. Time's over. Time to go.
Gather.
Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your fate. Things are about to get dicey.
Solidify.
Everybody stand! Here comes the catch. Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's look. Gotcha. Transfixed.
Everyone hold hands. Make yourselves
Stabilize.
I'm going in! Huh? Game's up. Time's over. Overruled. Go on, witness my rise. Transfix.
Solidify.
Everybody stand back! Quietly now.
This is order. Gather.
Gotcha. Laid bare. There is no escape.
You choose.
As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows me.
Hold the line. Inazuma shines eternal. I see everything.
Voice is ready.
Make yourselves a room.
Fallen leaves. Adorn my night. Wind strider.
Torrent, bring from you. No. Rest and rebuild.
Pound into the ground.
Everyone hold hands. Illusion shattered.
Clouds high. The birds come into the root.
Hold the line. The temple of wisdom. Torn to oblivion. I see everything. Rest and rebuild.
Wind strider. One with wind and cloud.
Everyone hold hands. No, sir. Hold the line.
You'll get boss fight, Chris.
Teamwork is strength. Things are about to get dicey. Transfix. This is where it is fun. Everybody stand up. Quietly now.
Solidify. Order guide you.
Gotcha. You shall perish. Illusion shattered.
And that is it for this Spiral Abyss run. So, this Abyss was actually pretty hard. Yeah, I'm not joking. Because, well, they brought back shielders. They brought back shielders in the Spiral Abyss. Yep. You know how fun dealing with shielders is. You basically have to stick with elements. So that is what I did. I scouted the Abyss, which is the reason why I had a 5 out of 9 in the rewards on floor 12. I scouted the Abyss. I basically browsed through basically everything, and then constructed a team of 8 characters that can deal with the Abyss without any retries. So yeah, I did the no retry run. That's the reason why I wanted to scout first, because I just wanted to get the no retry run done. So yeah, but well, I can't just talk about it. I have to show you guys. So yeah, let's talk about the Abyss floors. So again, as always, for these Spiral Abyss explanations, if you want a more detailed explanation on this Abyss, check out basically the discussion video, aka the commentary video of this Spiral Abyss, basically the commentary version of 4.6 Spiral Abyss, where I go into greater detail. So yeah, this is just a SparkSnilts version of this well, on these floors, because I have to talk about my builds. But yeah, if you want more detail, then you could check out the commentary video of this Spiral Abyss, which basically goes up when the second period of Spiral Abyss happens, aka Spiral Abyss Reset. So yeah. Well, anyways, it's time to talk about all the floors. So floor 11 and floor 12. So here we go. So floor 11, I guess they just decided to bring back the monolith floors because it's just back. It's back in its full glory. So, you know what that means. Take your time. Bring as much DPSs as you can. Or you can bring animal support, aka crowd controllers, to the field. And you should be fine. As long as you have crowd controllers or teams that can basically kill these guys in like one hit, you should be fine. As for Chamber 2, well, you have a mixed elements on the second half. So, my advice there is to bring an animal character. On first half, they are susceptible to basically all types of elements. So basically, just run anything you want. You can't just run a shielder to deal with the Vishaps, but you don't need a shielder. You could just run your best team and then kill them that way. And as for the second half, again, as I said before, since there are multiple elements, you can just run an animal character. So yeah. And as for the Chamber 3, first half, bring a Pyro character because all of these characters are ice, aka cryo characters, so just basically deal with their cryo shields. Second half, bring whatever you want because, well, they are susceptible to any amount of damage that you deal. So yeah, that's basically it for floor 11. Pretty easy floor. I mean, some free-to-play players might struggle on it, but I'm pretty sure you guys are skilled enough to beat this floor. So yeah. But floor 12, on the other hand, good luck, guys. Good luck. Because, well, it's not because of Chamber 1. Chamber 1's actually pretty easy because if you fought these things before in the Inazuma Spiral Abyss, the Magu Kenkis with the 3 puppets, you should be fine because, well, all you have to do is do AoE damage and they die because they don't have that much health. As long as you deal enough damage on these things, you should be fine, which basically gives you enough time to do the second half, which the only threats that you would face is the Mirror Maiden because it loves to teleport a lot, the operatives because, you know, the operatives are pretty tanky and they love to attack constantly, the Kiragi, I guess, if you don't kill both of them at the same time, and the Slingers are just fodder. So yeah, so the second half, I guess you could just bring a Hydro character, I guess, for the Pyro Slinger, just in case it gets its shield back up. So yeah, I guess for my advice there is to bring a Hydro character. And I would say that too, because I have to talk about Chamber 3 in a minute, but I have to go to Chamber 2. So Chamber 2. This is when I started to realize that in order to get the full no retry run on this Spiral Abyss, I had to switch my team comps. So that is why I backed out on 5 out of 9. And then basically just backed out on Chamber 3 just to test the waters, basically. So, on first half, you have to deal with the Icewind Sweet, Nemesis of Coppelius. So, in order for you to deal with this guy, you can do one or two things. One, do an Usia reaction, aka the Dark reaction. So yeah, you can do the Dark reaction or Usia, and then deal with that shield that way. Or, you could do Pyro damage, which deals with the Cryo shield. So yeah, it's either you do Pyro on the Cryo Shield or you do Usia. Usia is way faster, but I suggest that you run a Pyro character because guess what the blessing of the Abyssal Moon is? Vaporize, Overload, Melt, Burning, Burgen, Pyro Swirl, or Pyro Crystallize. You get Elemental Res and Physical Res reduced by 30%. So yeah, take advantage of that Abyssal Moon blessing, by the way. So yeah, just bring a Pyro character on the first half. As for the second half, good luck, guys, because you can run either one of two things. You can run a Pyro character to deal with the Lectors, or you can run a Dendro character to deal with the Lectors. I went the Dendro route. So yeah. So, the second half, you have to deal with 3 Pyro for 2 agents, and then 2 Eremites, and then 2 Lectors. Yeah, you think that's not annoying enough? So yeah, you have to deal with the agents first, which is not that bad. The only annoying thing they do is is just turn invisible. The Eremites, well, you already know how the Eremites work. And then the Abyss Lector, well, again, you have to deal with their shields. So yeah, pretty simple, but simple in, explanation terms, hard in execution. And then for Chamber 3, we have, the first half is not that bad. These are just all fodder enemies to basically get you ready for the second half. Basically, try to clear this in like 1 minute, so the rest of your time can go into the Baptist. The Baptist is one of the most annoying enemies in the entire game. Think of all the Lectors that you face. Think of all of the Heralds. And combine those into one annoying enemy. That is the Baptist. So yeah. So, it basically puts up 3 shields. And you have to deal with the 3 shields before it becomes vulnerable. You have to deal with Pyro. And then after you deal with the Pyro one, you have to deal with Cryo. And then after you deal with the Cryo one, you deal with Electro. So basically, you have to bring 3 elements. Yeah, 3 elements. You have to basically run Hydro, Pyro, or Electro. I could get away with one of the shields because Raiden is Electro, so she could deal with the Frost shield. But if you don't have any characters that can deal with these shields, good luck, because the only way you can damage this guy is to get rid of his shields. So yeah, it's not like the Dancer duo where they can get rid of their shields after you like waste a minute. This guy does not get rid of his shield. You have to get rid of his shield. So yeah, I'm just gonna say good luck. Good luck. Especially the free-to-play players. Good luck dealing with this floor. This floor is kind of hard. So yeah. Well, anyways, that is my explanations on the floors. So yeah, basically, it's pretty hard. That is the TLDR of it. Well, anyways, now it's time to talk about my builds. And, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to showcase my team builds. Some of these are new, some of these are old. You might see familiar faces, and you might not. So yeah, as for the might not see familiar faces, we got Arlecchino, who is our newest addition to the roster. So yeah, as you see here, Arlecchino is, well, her attack is pretty high. Crit rate, crit damage is pretty good. A middling energy recharge doesn't need that much because she just gives herself particles. Pyro damage is pretty high too, through the roof. So yeah. As for weapon, I have Crimson Moon Semblance, which is definitely her best weapon. Her other best weapon is Staff of Homa. So, if you do have a spare Staff of Homa, aka trying to pull on a banner with Hu Tao, you could basically just give her Staff of Homa. Funny enough, her best free-to-play weapon is the White Tassel, which basically gives her crit rate, and as well as increased normal attack damage. So yeah, if you want to run a pretty good free-to-play weapon on her, run the White Tassel. You won't be disappointed. As for artifact set, I have Gladiator's Finale. Of course, I don't have her main artifact set. We're still farming it. So yeah, I'm still farming the main artifact set. So the only artifact set I could give her is either one of two. Shiminawa's Resonance, which I don't have that many good artifacts on it. Besides, Yoimiya is using my Shiminawa's Resonance. Or I run Gladiators. No one uses Gladiators in the game, so I just gave her Gladiators. So yeah. Basically for Shiminawa's, you have to basically do your elemental skill and then basically your normal attacks get increased by 50% damage, which is pretty good. The only drawback is that you lose energy. So basically, remember, Arlecchino can only heal off her burst. So when you use your elemental skill on the Shiminawa set, you lose your burst. Just keep that in mind. So you have to play around that factor. As for Gladiators, you don't get a restriction. The only, I guess, bad thing about it is you lose percentage. You lose 15% on normal attack, but it's not that bad because, well, you get this permanently as long as you're a sword claymore or pole arm. Guess what Arlecchino is? She's a pole arm character. So yeah, it's a pretty good artifact set on her. As for constellations, I have her at C1. If you haven't seen the community post, I guess I'll explain it now, but if you do, then you know why I have her C1. But well, I could just explain it. I caved in. I saw the amount of potential that Arlecchino can have, so I just gave in and just gave her C1 because she gets 100% enhanced increased value on her Mask of Red Death, which is her, well, I can show it here, normal attack passive. So yeah, it's really good, and she's all about the normal attacks. And also, she gets interruption resistance, aka you don't have to run Xingqiu or Zhongli. So you can just run Arlecchino without those characters, and she becomes a god. But keep in mind that if you are going to be doing that, I recommend you get her C2, because she gets physical and elemental resistance on her when she does her E, which is her Bloodbutt directives, when she absorbs it, basically when you use your charge attack when you have her E active. So yeah. I recommend you get this constellation because not only you get the 20%, but on her talents, you get another 20% too. So yeah, keep that in mind if you are going to be trying to get C2 Arlecchino. It's actually pretty worth it if you are going to be running her. It means that she doesn't have to rely on Zhongli or Xingqiu. As for talents, I have 966. I'm still trying to level this up to level 10. But once I do, I will be making the Arlecchino showcase video. So, bear with me, guys, but as long as I can get to the level 10, I can showcase it. So you might have to wait a little bit longer for the Arlecchino showcase. But yeah, so there's Arlecchino. I would say probably like one of the best pyro DPSs in the game. She's like basically neck and neck with Hu Tao. Like, I'm not joking. They're both really good, like in their own respective. So yeah. Next up, we have the best shielder in the game, or one of the best shield characters in the game, Zhongli. As you see here, he hasn't changed. 50k HP, crit damage is middling. Really nothing else to talk about. The only reason why I gave him crit damage is because I wanted to make him a sub DPS as well as make him a support, because his burst actually does pretty good damage. So yeah. As for weapon, I have Black Tassel. This is his best weapon, his best free-to-play weapon, because it gives him HP percent. As for his best sub DPS weapon, you could give him the Staff of Homo, which is pretty good because it gives him crit damage and a flat 20% HP boost. So yeah. As for artifact set, I have Tenacity of the Millelith, no brainer. Best artifact set for support Zhongli because it increases his shield strength as well as give party members increased attack. So yeah, it's pretty good on Zhongli. But if you are going to be running a sub DPS Zhongli, of course, 2-piece Geo, 2-piece Noblesse. That is his best set. As for his constellations, I have him at C0. He doesn't need constellations to be good because his main bread and butter is his shield. So yeah. And as for talent, 6, 10, 6. So yes, again, I leveled this up because it is his main kit. He is a shielder, so I leveled this up to shield first. So yeah. So there's Zhongli. Still one of the best shielders in the entire game. Still pretty good. And next up, we have one of the best Hydro sub DPSs in the entire game, which is Yelan. So yeah, Yelan, pretty broken. As you see here, 30k HP, crit damage, ER with Hydro damage bonus. So yeah. As for weapon, I have Aqua Simulacra, which is definitely her best weapon. As for her best free-to-play weapon, it's the EM bow. Say it with me now. The Stringless. Yes, the Stringless is her best free-to-play weapon because it increases burst damage. So yeah, Aqua Simulacra is her best premium weapon. Her best free-to-play weapon is the Stringless. As for artifact set, I have 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate. Definitely her best artifact set for sub DPS Yelan because her, well, bread and butter is all about the burst. So increased burst damage means increased Yelan damage, which means she just nukes down everything. So yeah. As for constellations, I have her at C0. For sub DPS Yelan, she doesn't need constellations. But if you are going to be trying to run a main DPS Yelan, you already know the monstrosity that is C6 Yelan. If you are going to be going for that, well, you have on your hands one of the best main DPSs in the entire game. So yeah. And as for talents, I have 6, 7, 10. Of course, I level this up to level 10 because, say it with me, it's her bread and butter. It's part of her kit. So yeah. So there's Yelan, still one of the best Hydro sub DPSs in the entire game. And speaking of one of the best characters in the game, we got Bennett, who is basically one of the best supports in the entire game. So yeah, Benny. So, as you see here, he has 31k HP, high ER, basically your typical Bennett build. As for weapon, I have Skyward Blade, which is definitely his best weapon overall. If you want a higher buff, aka high base attack on weapon, because his talent, Fantastic Voyage, is dependent on how much attack your base attack is. So basically trying to get Benny to level 90, as well as getting a high base attack weapon. For his highest base attack weapon, you can either run the Mist Splitter Reforge, which is pretty good, or you can run the Aquilia Favonia. Both have the highest base attack sword in the entire game. So you can either run Mist Splitter or Aquilia Favonia if you really want the base attack that much. But if you don't really care about base attack and you just want to give him ER, then Skyward Blade is his best sword. But you might be wondering, those are just 5-star swords, Victini. What about the 4-star swords? Well, I'm happy to say he does have some good options on 4-star swords. So if you are an OG player, you can run the Festering Desire, which is definitely his best 4-star weapon. If you don't have that, however, you can run the Favonius Sword, which is also one of his best 4-star weapons because it gives him really high ER. So yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, you have a bunch of options when it comes to Benny. Just give him a good sword and he performs wonders. As for artifact set, I have no Blease. Definitely his best set. I mean, his burst basically buffs attack for party members. The set buffs attacks for party members. Put 2 and 2 together, and you can probably see why Benny's good. And as for constellations, I'm at C6. I caved in as well on C6 because, well, the teams I run Benny on are now just pyro-focused teams, as well as some of the characters that I use already have elemental infusions that can't be interrupted, aka Navia, who uses Bennett a lot. Navia doesn't get, well, her infusion canceled because of his C6, so I can basically safely get him C6. The only characters that I can't use with Bennett, however, are Kuching, which is fine because Kuching basically can be run with Chevrolet, her best team, Overload, or, well, Kuching can also be run on a Quicken, Aggravate, Hyper Bloom team, which is also one of her best teams that does not have Bennett. So yeah, basically that. Also, Ayaka's best team is the Ayaka Freeze team. So I don't have to run Bennett on there either. So yeah, basically it just gives me more reasons why to give him C6. The final push to get him C6 was arlecchino. Arlecchino was the main reason why I wanted to get him C6. Because you get 50% pyro damage bonus on Sword, Claymore, or Pole Arm. Guess what arlecchino is? She's a Pole Arm character. And well, guess what element she is? She's a Pyro character. So, 50% pyro damage bonus. Put those two together, and she becomes a monster on the battlefield. So yeah, that's the reason why I got him C6. Also, a secondary note. The reason why I got Bennett C6 as well is because Ga Ming at C6 is extremely broken, and also his main damage is on E, and he needs another source of pyro application besides his E, so Bennett's burst gives him pyro damage. So yeah, that's another reason why I got him C6. And well, as for talent 6, 9, 13, of course I level this up to level max because, again, I will keep saying it again, bread and butter. So yeah, so there's Benny. one of the best pyro characters in the entire game, and also one of the best supports in the entire game. So yeah. And that is it for the first half of the team. It's time to talk about the second half, aka the gods of Genshin. Because all of those characters on the second half are all top tier characters. Not to say that the first half is also full of top tier characters, but yeah, the second half also has top tier characters. So yeah. For second half, we got Raiden Shogun, aka the best Electro character in the game. Fight me. But Raiden basically has not changed. So Electro damage is pretty high because of her ER. Crit record damage is basically what you expect of a Raiden Shogun build. So yeah. As for weapon, Engulfing Lightning is her best weapon, of course. Her best free-to-play weapon is the catch, which you get by fishing in Inazuma. Or you can fish in Liyue or Mondstadt. As long as you fish, you should be fine. You should just get the catch. It's a pretty good weapon. Pretty good polearm. As for artifact set, I have 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate, which is her best artifact set. Of course, this is her best artifact set for main, sub, and support because, well, her main bread and butter is her burst, as well as her E. But her burst is her main bread and butter. It basically just gives her a bunch of damage. It also supports the party members by basically giving them ER. So yeah, it's basically a no-brainer when it comes to Raiden. So yeah, just run 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate. As for Constellations, I read C2. I use her way too much, so I just had to get her C2. This is way too broken for its own good. You get 60% opponent defense reduce. And her C1 basically just gives her more stacks on her chakra. So she just does more damage on her burst. So yeah, she just becomes way too broken on C2. And as for talent, I have 10-10-10. I use her way too much. So I just triple crowned her. So yeah, there is Raiden Shogun. The best Electro character in the game. Fight me on this. And next up, we have the best Dendro character in the game, or one of the contenders for the best character in the game, Nahida. Who also shares a spot with Raiden as the best character in the game. So yeah. So Nahida, I see here 800 EM, but the middling crit damage. She doesn't need that much ER because, well, her burst is not really that hard to get. So yeah. As for weapon, I have 1,000 Floating Dreams. Definitely her best weapon because it's her main, obviously. For her best free-to-play weapon, it's the Magic Guide, which is a 3-star book. Yeah, you could just give her the Magic Guide and she performs wonders. So yeah, you can either run 1,000 Floating Dreams, which is her premium, or you can run a literal 3-star book and you get the same thing. So yeah, basically, my message is just run the Magic Guide. As for artifact set, I have Deepwood Memories. Since Nahida is my main Dendro applicator, I basically ran Deepwood. If you are not using Nahida as your main Dendro applicator, then you run Gilded Dreams. Either way, running both of those sets is really good on Nahida because Nahida is just way too broken for her own good. So yeah. As for Constellations, I read C2. Her C2 is absolutely one of the most broken things I have ever seen in my life. Because look at this. Flat crit rate crit damage boost. And also, when you do a Electro reaction on Dendro, you get decreased defense by 30%. And on top of that, her C1 basically minuses one additional character on the Shrine of Maya's passive. So basically, instead of running 2 party members to get the buffs, you have to run 1. So basically, all you have to do is just run 1 Pyro, or 1 Electro, or 1 Hydro, and you get all of these buffs for free. So yeah, pretty busted. It's pretty busted. So yeah. As for talents right here, 6-10-10. Of course, she is a sub DPS, so I have to give her all of these. If you are going to be running her as main, C6, of course. But as for now, I mean, I just have her at sub, and she performs really great as a sub. So yeah. So there's Nahida, still one of the best characters in the entire game. So yeah, and one of the best Dendro characters in the entire game. And next up, we have one of the best animal characters in the entire game, or the best animal character in the game, or, well, the contender for the best character in the game, Kazuha, who is really busted. So yeah, as you see here, crit rate crit damage is middling, EM is middling too. ER is middling. I basically just made him a jack of all trades. So yeah. As for weapon right here, I have Freedom Sworn, which is his best weapon overall. Basically gives him EM and also increases elemental reaction damage, which is pretty good on him. And guess what he's all about? He's all about the elemental damage. So yeah. As for his best free-to-play weapon, the Iron Sting definitely is his best free-to-play weapon. You literally, all you have to do is just craft it. You just craft it and you basically got one of his best weapons in the entire game. So yeah, it's pretty good. As for artifact set, I have Uranus and Venerer. Definitely his best set for sure. Because, well, you increase swirl damage and also decrease elemental res. And guess what his burst does? It decreases elemental res and also increases damage on, well, your burst, and also increases damage for other party members. So yeah, it's pretty good. As for constellations, I'm at C0. He doesn't need constellations to be good. He's already good enough. So yeah. And as for talents, I have 6, 8, 10. Kasa Slash is his main bread and butter, which is why I leveled this up to level 10. So yeah, there you go. So there's Kazuha. Definitely one of the best animal characters in the entire game, if not the best animal character in the entire game. So yeah. And last but not least, we have one of the best healers in the entire game, Kokomi. Sangonomiya Kokomi. So yeah, the fish girl. So for Kokomi, she has high HP, 38,000, with ER, which is pretty good. Hydro damage bonus, of course. For weapon, I have Thrilling Tales of the Dragon Slayers. Funnily enough, this is her best weapon. Her best support weapon, I have to be specific. If you want a healer build, you could just run the prototype. If you want to run a DPS build, you could just run the purple donut. So yeah, she has many options to choose from, but I just ran Thrilling Tales because of the attack bonus on support. So yeah. And also her artifact set, Tenacity of the Millith, gives her an attack bonus too, as long as you hit someone with an elemental skill. And guess what? When you leave the field with Thrilling Tales, you get attack increase for 48% on your party members. So yeah, it combos pretty well with Tenacity. So yeah. As for constellations, I'm at C1. I got this by accident, and if you want to know the story behind that, watch the Kokomi summoning video. All I'm gonna say is Dory. So yeah. As for talents, I have 7, 9, 8. I'm still trying to level this up to level 10, but due to me trying to level up arlecchino and also trying to get arlecchino artifacts, this will never happen. So yeah. Well, maybe if they do like a leyline overflow event or something like that, or like a domain overflow event, then maybe this will be at level 10. But as for now, she will be stuck here in limbo. But despite all that, she performed wonders in the Abyss. She's still pretty good. So yeah. And that is it for this, well, Spiral Abyss video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you do like this video, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you do subscribe to the channel, be sure to turn on the notification bell to not miss out on a single upload. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. Liking and subbing to the channel is greatly appreciated. It basically helps motivate me. It basically gives me basically more energy to make these videos. Again, I love Genshin a lot, so you guys feeling my passion is greatly appreciated. Again, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. And also comment down below, what do you think of this Spiral Abyss? You think it's easy? You think it's hard? What are the team comps to use down below? Let me know. What are the most difficult parts of the Abyss? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this Spiral Abyss video. And I'll see you guys in the next Genshin video.